Hello and welcome back. This is Grillenheimer. Okay, I got a couple of cards to reveal. Oh gosh, that's old. Okay, and some of these to start off with are old cards that were stratagems that I had created, some of the first ones. And when I started looking at these, I hadn't made the battlefield cards yet and realized, these don't seem really strong enough. I mean, they could easily be action cards, but I felt like they needed to last longer than an action card. And that's kind of where the whole battlefield card mentality came from. And I've kind of done some gameplay already, but I might still have a little how-to video with a good explanation and a good visual to show how these cards really work. And they're not hard. They're really not hard. But I'm enjoying them. I'm enjoying them, and I may be playing solo here, but I'm really enjoying the cards. So let's start off. The first one is Human Inspiration. Maybe it's just the house creaking. Thought I heard someone at my front door. Human Inspiration. It originally was a stratagem card. It's still white green. They haven't changed really how this works. It gives your Autobots with leaders, the brave trait, your non-leaders +1 to attack. But this one sort of breaks. I have very few. My main rule for battlefield cards is that they normally affect everybody in the battlefield. There's a few exceptions, and this is one of them, is where this one only affects your Autobots. I guess we could change that to where it affects all Autobots on the field for both teams. And even some of the people that are still playing the game, the few games I've seen on YouTube, real people are really mixing it up and really doing some different things. Not so much with new cards or content like this, and maybe a little bit, not just stuff from the heart, maybe not my stuff, but really mixing things up and seeing, hey, what can we do with this stuff now? So that was Human Inspiration. Again, I've introed the card before as a stratagem, but it might work better as a in-play battlefield card. And that way it's not taking up a star as a stratagem, and you're not having to take up a whole lot of equipment cards in your deck to give characters brave that don't have it, that you want them to have brave. The only problem is it again is going to be temporary. Your opponent can knock it out with another battlefield card. Up next is Grandstand. And this, you probably saw this coming. It was originally, again, a stratagem card where it affected both teams, and I may have originally had it bold 3 and tough 3. But it is a green-only battlefield card. No colors, just green. So you can swap out your battlefield cards. Each Autobot, again, it affects the entire battlefield. Bold 2, tough 2. So and you can use some strategies there depending on who you can attack during the certain parts of the game. So moving on, now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new battle cards. Are they all battle cards? Yes, they are. Up next is Draw 1. Question mark. And this is this little quick, I mean, this was quick. It was hard to snapshot this thing from, again, where Wild Wheel showed up in Cyberverse. Has an orange pip and a green pip. At the start of turn, if you have less than 3 cards, draw until you have 3 in your hand. So that's why I was thinking you might only have 2 cards in your hand. So at the start of your turn, you get to draw 2 cards or instead of just 1 card. Or if you had 1 card and you at the start of your turn you drew 1 card, you get to draw another. So it'd be like 1 more card. Unless you just have absolutely no cards in your hand, you draw, then you can draw 2 more to get, again, 3 cards in your hand. It almost seems like a very needed card. Again, it can be knocked out. And there is the card that we made for the Constructicons, working overtime, I believe, but I think that gives you 4 cards in your hand, I believe. Up next, it's kind of a play on word. Me talking has upsetted the Xbox. And I got the old 360 to boot. I don't have the new one. But it's a play on like my kids used to love these books, Diary of a Wimpy Kid with that cheese touch, except this one is called The Keys Touch, and it is a picture from the G1 episode when the key of Vector Sigma falls on the ground on Earth and changes the dirt around it metal. Surprised it didn't just change the whole planet metal at that point, but it wasn't quite that powerful, I guess. At the start of turn, I didn't write this verbatim, maybe I should have, but it should be right here over my shoulder. At the start of the turn, at the start of a player's turn, before that player calls an attacker, the opponent chooses the defender. The defender can be tapped or untapped. This is pretty big. This is kind of breaking the game for at least a turn or 2, you know, unless you're playing with somebody that just doesn't have battlefield cards. Of course, you could knock it out yourself with your own another battlefield card out of your deck. But I thought this was pretty interesting because it wouldn't just be for the player that has it. It would also be for the player that doesn't have it. So I considered this pretty fair, and I thought about how I've had a picture of this snapshot since I did the Key of Vector Sigma, the stratagem, before I changed it into an upgrade. So I've had this picture for a while, at least 3 months, and I kept wondering, I wonder what it's picking up that it thinks I'm saying. It's strange. I guess my son left on the Xbox. What to do with this card. And so not so much exactly based on the Key of Vector Sigma. It's more like, I mean, even think of it, it's late in the game. One of y'all has 1 character left. The other one has 2. Well, the player with 1 character draws a card, starts their turn, and before they can name their attacker, you're the opponent, and you're like, I don't know, my Titan Master just went. He's tapped, so he can get hurt. But my Drift, I don't know why Drift, he's not even in the game. Drift is untapped. Boom, he's got the keys touch. He's your defender. You have to attack him. So then they would have to attack Drift. I don't know why I said Drift. And keep your Titan Master safe, even though they're the ones that's tapped. And in turn, they only have 1 character. You know, this would be a neat card to play near the end of the game to try to save a turn for your Titan Master so they could get in another attack, even though they're pretty weak characters anyway. But, you know, it might win the game. It might not. It would be a very neat and strategic card to try. Moving on, Argon C. Again, another little snapshot from Cyberverse. And it's not exactly what the area really does, but I considered it like a poison card. And it was really, if I remember that episode well, they were correctly, that they were, Bumblebee or somebody was like, oh, you can go in and never come out again and all this, but then Jetfire, yeah, not Skyfire, Jetfire was saying, oh, I know the way. I was a Decepticon plane. We knew it. We had, charted the whole area. We can go, we know where to go without getting hit and all this. Is that the right episode? No. I'm getting the new Netflix show and Cyberverse mixed up. So sorry. Anyway, this is what the card does. Golly. Too many Transformer shows. That when this is in play, it damages all these traits by 1 at the start of turn. This is how this card works. You put it in play. Well, it's going to hurt Autobots, cars, trucks, tanks, patrols, and motorcycles by 1 at the start of your turn. Well, at the start of your turn, this card is not in play. You put it in play, it still hasn't gone to effect yet. It's not going to go into effect until the start of your opponent's turn, because it's a battlefield card. So at that point, then those traits would be affected, and if they want to knock it out with another battlefield card, then they can do it. But it would still go in effect at the start of your opponent's turn. Get it? And if it was still in play, it might end up hurting the both of y'all, depending on who has these traits. Maybe you're playing Decepticons and you don't have Autobots, so that'll help you there. But if you can still have Decepticon cars, trucks, and tanks and patrols, and motorcycles, so you might want to try to keep them out of their alt modes. And the way I play, I flip every single turn, because you can, unless you can't, because it is a Titan Master, or it is a Weaponizer, or a Battle Master. Those cannot flip. That's how I play. Not everybody does that, I don't think. But I don't know what the official ruling on that is. But I think I've seen some guys actually start playing that way. And it just brings a lot more strategy to the game, to where you're like, oh, darn, he's got 5 attack on this side. I've got to flip him. He's who I have to flip. He's all I have left. So he's now going to have attack of 3. Great. Well, let's see what happens. I get... bold 3, bold 4. Hey, I'm an orange-based deck, or I've got certain upgrades. Boom, you're dead anyway. So you just never know. Or you may not get a big enough swing, but you might still get a good enough bite of damage on your opponent. That is the nature of this game, in my mind. And part of the neat strategy of this, because again, I've said this before, videos past, it's Transformers. If they're not flipping and transforming, it might as well be called something else. 2 more. These I pulled from the comic books. I was looking, my son was wanting to reread Bone, and I've got all the trade paperbacks, like doubles of them, because I loved Bone. I've got all the Scholastic versions. I have the original black and white versions, and I might have, oh gosh, Bone is just hilarious. If you like Lord of the Rings, if you never heard of Bone, for one thing, it does go way back. Jeff Smith started it right when I graduated high school, and I didn't know about it until a few years later, when the original comic book was coming out. And it wasn't monthly. It came out whenever they could get one out, about every 2 months or so. So I was looking for those trade paperbacks, and I found my Transformer trade paperbacks. And I'm like, Wonderful. More locations, more battlefield cards. Yes. Yes. So, that one picture I had of the scraplets, I pulled from the TF Wiki site with the Fair Use Act on it. So, and I thought, okay. And I even flipped the scraplets, So they're looking to the right instead of to the left or whatever it was. Well, these are just right out of the comics, and I just tried to click it with my phone. Oh, sorry, I moved the whole desk. What time is it? Oh, I got to make this quick, guys. And up is first is R.A.A.T headquarters, R.A.A.T. I didn't write down what that stands for, but they were really trying to, may have been the origin for the idea of Kelsey Grammer's military operation that was going around killing every Autobot and Decepticon in was it Dark of the Moon? No, Age of Extinction. I kind of wish they could redo those some of those movies, or if not all of them, and just, I guess they're still working on that house. It's not like an explosion. And just sort of clean them up, make them simpler, make them a little more family friendly, condense the stories a little bit, and make it a better overarching story than what they had, which wasn't bad. It wasn't great. And when you take off your Marilla Cuthbert mask, Revenge of the Fallen is the funniest one in movie. And I enjoy Revenge of the Fallen now than I used to. I mean, I liked it when I first saw it. We saw it in the IMAX, and I was the one of the four of us that didn't get seasick or motion sickness. Anyway, R.A.A.T. Let's get back to the card game. Maybe that's for another video. R.A.A.T. headquarters, battlefield card, an orange pip and a green pip. Orange and green. Decepticons and Autobots have -2 tough. -2. The negative flips, which means you don't flip, rears its ugly head again. And -1 to attack. Which is interesting. I didn't affect defense, just negative tough and -1 to attack with the R.A.A.T headquarters. Or rate, maybe I always pronounced it R.A.A.T. Then up next is the last one. Oh, I don't have a picture of it, but it should. Excuse me. It should be right here. Some auto salesman. I forgot that comic book line with the used car salesman. Was he the one that found? No. Oh, I remember now. Used car lot. I just called it used car lot. I didn't use the name of the place in the story from the comic. Orange pip and green pip again, and I really haven't made that many orange pip battlefield cards. And just boom at the top. Everyone has tough 2. Just everyone has tough 2. I haven't given tough a whole lot of love. I did it here for both sides of the battlefield. Because you're in a car lot. I'm thinking realistically here, like there's property around, there could be people around. So you're wanting to help minimize damage, I guess. So I'll put in tough 2 for everybody. And then this was neat. And cars and trucks get stealth. And I didn't even put it for a certain, well, I guess you have to be in alt mode. So yeah, that does make a whole lot of sense. If they're in alt mode, they're in stealth because they're surrounded by cars and trucks in a used car lot. I thought it was pretty clever. So if you have other characters that do not have those traits and they are in bot mode, they're the ones that will get hit, as long as depending on who's tapped and untapped, But that's all I've got now. I went a little long. I've got to get back to work. So, but yeah, that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards for you, and pretty much, yeah, they're all battlefield cards. And 2 of them were stratagem cards. Like I said way back then, I did not exactly have the whole idea of battlefield cards in mind. Once I took that step with the location cards and then renamed them, it has just railroaded, and it's been a domino effect. It's been very fun, and it's been easy. I can just get on my phone. No, not this phone. And just make them. Now, I did get the MSE, the Magic Set Editor, on my laptop, and I'm trying to use it, and it seems pretty easy. I was going to try to make some of my, like a boat character or whatever. I did get Sailor, and I was going to try to make him, try to get him ported to an official looking card, even though he'd still be hand drawn, like a bird right there. And I got the picture, I got it in the computer, I got everything going like I needed to, and it wouldn't port the picture over. It won't port the picture over for the character cards. It wouldn't do it for the triple changer card, because I tried a couple of the different modes and just bring a picture in, and it wouldn't. It just, the OK and cancel button just didn't show up at all. But if I did like an action card or a upgrade card, it was there, and I could port it over if I wanted to, but I didn't want to make an action card. I can do that on my phone pretty easily, though I'm sure it would look, a little better if I did it through the MSC program. But then I can't take my computer just anywhere, but my phone I can, and it's my friend. But gosh, I've lost it. I gotta get back to work. But that's all I've got right now. 7 new battlefield cards. Well, 2 not so new. Whole lot of fun going on. I hope you're enjoying this. I hope there's a bit of a takeaway. And have been trying to get a hold of. I texted the Wes. I didn't realize that's who that was. Well, hey Wes. I was letting him on Facebook know I may have figured out how to do Skylinks. I just don't have all the abilities. I don't have it's still picking me up. All the particulars and details for Skylinks, but how he would work, I think I have it, that in a direction of figuring how Skylinks would work. And he would need to be 2 full-size cards. And I'm kind of wondering, gosh, I'm just talking my head off. If for one mode of Skylinks, that they could be both foldable cards, and for one side, for the alt modes, to where they could both actually, come together and combine, where like the one half would come down to show the one part, and then the other card would fold down or fold up. You put them together to be able to actually create the character, would be interesting. And then your stats would be on the actual stratagem. Something to think about. I haven't tried it. I'm not dealing with Skylinks. I was just toying with the idea. This just might be how this could work. But I got to get back to work. Speaking of which, thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time. As always, have a blessed day, blessed afternoon. It has just been beautiful, and we got a cold front, and it's just been nice today. And as always, let's flip out and let's roll for it.